Hey, what's going on, guys? I did want to go ahead and talk about this crazy Hollywood shutdown. I don't know how many of you guys have heard this story, but this is like some crazy breaking news. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen right here. This is right out of the New York Times. So it says here, Hollywood shutdown looms as actors say contract talks have collapsed. Now, the interesting part about this is we've already seen the writers that went on strike. So the people who are literally like writing the story, writing the script, writing is a very important part of Hollywood. All these amazing, captivating, creative stories are normally made by the writers. So without writers, you don't really have much of a picture. But even more so, you definitely don't have much of a movie or a TV show without actors. And so not only are the writers on strike, but now both the actors and the writers are about to be on strike because one of the largest television and movie actor unions, which represents 160,000 people in that industry, could go on strike as soon as Thursday, joining screenwriters, as we just talked about, who have been picketing for over 70 days. Yeah, they went on strike back in May. So now we read a little bit of the article. It says the Hollywood's first industry-wide shutdown in 63 years neared certainty, with the union representing 160,000, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that is absolutely insane, in my personal opinion. That's going to have a lot of implications for the movie industry and for some of our favorite shows that, are maybe being renewed for another season, or, other shows that we've been desperately wanting to see that they made previews for. And now we have no idea what the status of that is going to be. Let me really read a little bit more of it. The name of the union, by the way, is the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Their contract expired at midnight, which was yesterday, I believe, or today. I don't know. But yeah, let me see. Today is the 13th. So yeah, yesterday at midnight, following a deadline extension that delayed the possibility of a mega strike by almost 2 weeks. They would join the Writers Guild of America, which went on strike on May 2nd after failing to reach a deal with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, an umbrella group that represents studios like Disney, Netflix, Amazon, and Apple. So these are all the main, media outlets that are, producing content, especially Netflix and Disney. They are putting out a ton of, movies, TV shows, different things like that. So this is absolutely insane. Something else interesting is this is the first time that this has happened in over 63 years. This will be the first time that unions representing both writers and actors would strike at the same time since 1960, when future U.S. President Ronald Reagan was the president of the Actors Union. That's how long ago this was. Let's put it into perspective. My parents weren't even born in 1960, okay? That's how long ago this happened. This strike, it's been so long since the writers and the actors went on strike that it literally happened before my parents were even born. It's absolutely insane. Now it says here that dozens of productions have already been halted since the writers went on strike, including Stranger Things, Billions. Stranger Things is a phenomenal show, by the way, and Marvel's Blade, which is also a fantastic movie. If there is an actor strike, there could be even more delays, and some shows may be canceled altogether. For audiences, that likely means the next season of your favorite TV show will be delayed, and many shows may disappear. Now, I do want to highlight something else that I also find to be very, very interesting. I will actually go ahead and put it up on the screen right now. So there's an article on Variety that basically says, I'll zoom in a little bit here. So there's an article on Variety where the current CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, came out and said that writers and actors are not being realistic with their strikes. It's very disturbing. The reason why what he says is so important and why I want to highlight that is because this makes me think that we're probably not going to see a negotiation. You know what I mean? We're not going to see anything good come out of this. I can't think of the word for it, but you guys know what I mean. Like an agreement. I don't think we're going to see an agreement based on what Bob Iger just said, which is the CEO of Disney. And even beyond that, there are some people out there who are like, well, we don't really care anyway because Hollywood has gone so woke, and all they're doing is they're inserting LGBTQ and racism into every little thing in Hollywood and in their movies and their television shows. And again, this isn't my talking point. This is literally what people are saying online. I was looking at some of the things on Twitter as well as in the comments of what people are saying. Now, for me personally, I don't really care about that stuff. I don't think Hollywood has gotten so out of control. Yes, there is some truth to it. Yes, you were seeing a lot more representation of LGBTQ, of disabled people. You're seeing a lot more disabled people being represented in a lot of movies and television. And you're seeing a lot of like race-based or race-oriented things that are happening in movies and television as well. Doesn't really bother me, but clearly other people are bothered by it. But I think what does bother me, and the main important thing, is this is going to have a major impact the longer this drags out on television shows and movies. This is literally going to shut down Hollywood. And if Hollywood gets shut down, there's not going to be very many good movies. You know, there's some things might still survive and make it and be okay to release. But overall, most of the great movies that we all know and love are not going to make it. Most of the television shows are not going to make it. And this is going to impact other things, because guess who depends on Hollywood? Netflix does. Okay. Disney Plus does. Amazon, Apple TV does. The movie theaters, AMC theaters, Cinemark, all these different people rely on this in order to continue to put out content. And so I don't know how long this is going to drag out. We're in the early stages right now. So right now we're not going to see any impact in the first like few days or week or so. We're just going to see delays, which is, you know, it's bad, but it's not the biggest deal. Now, if this drags on for months or even like, you know, 5, 6, 7 months or something crazy like that, that's going to be very bad. That's going to have a major impact going forward with places like Netflix and Disney Plus, who are not going to be putting out good quality shows. And if they're not putting out good quality shows, if they go too long without putting out good quality shows, then I am going to cancel my membership. I mean, I'll say this, Disney, I would probably never cancel, because Disney has such great content. Like for me, I'm a Star Wars fan. Sometimes I do like to relive my childhood and go back and watch Mulan, Aladdin. Those are movies that were huge when I was a child and still, for whatever reason, just make me happy when I watch them. You know, it's just one of those things where they just resonated with you and you love them as a kid. So I don't see myself ever canceling my Disney subscription, because like I said, I don't even really watch new content on Disney except for like whatever new Star Wars thing comes out. Besides that, I'm just going back and watching like the old stuff. You know what I mean? The superhero stuff or whatever else they have. Netflix does not get that benefit of the doubt for me. Netflix doesn't get that. Netflix does not get that privilege. Netflix has to continue to put out new content for me to continue watching. If Netflix doesn't put out new content, I'm canceling my membership. I do have Amazon Prime. I just thought about something. I think I have everything. Oh no, I do not have Apple TV. I have Disney Plus, I have Netflix, and I have Amazon Prime. If Amazon isn't putting out new shows, I'm not going to keep Amazon either. I would get rid of that too. So yeah, I don't know. This is absolutely insane. I definitely stand with the actors and the writers here. Typically, whenever these strikes happen, we all know whose fault it is. It's typically the fault of the producers, the CEOs, the people in power. And just to kind of give you guys an idea of what this whole thing is about, I think there was an article in the Washington Post about it, but from what I remember, one of the main reasons why they were going on strike is I think it had something to do with like the future. I'm trying to find an article on it real quick. So here's an article right here out of the Los Angeles Times. I'll actually go ahead and put it up on the screen right here, and we'll go ahead and read it. So this is the reason why the writers and the actors on strike. We can read right here where it says, like writers. So it says here, like writers, actors say they've been shortchanged by the streaming revolution and are seeking to boost the residual payments they get when shows are distributed on Netflix and other platforms. I totally agree with them here, by the way. I remember I know Snoop Dogg talked about it in terms of like streaming with like music and like Spotify. And then there was an actor that I saw that talked about it. But basically, these streaming platforms have changed the game so much. And unfortunately, we're in a situation where the streaming platforms are making all the money and the writers and the actors and all those people are kind of getting screwed a little bit. We've seen this situation play out plenty of times. I remember there was a situation with, I believe it was Scarlett Johansson and Disney. I could be wrong, but it was some big actress in Disney that had issues over this whole thing. It says right here, one especially contentious issue is that the union is demanding a significant boost in residual payments from streaming platforms to reflect the success of shows and how those payments are calculated. In particular, studios have balked at a demand that a third-party firm would be used to estimate viewership and have argued that many of the platforms are not yet profitable. Additionally, actors have demanded higher wages to counter the rise of inflation, boost to the union's health and pension plan and safeguards around the use of AI, which has emerged as a major issue of concern for performers. This makes perfect sense. AI and artificial intelligence definitely poses a significant risk to a lot of these people in the Hollywood industry. And I also do agree with them in terms of they deserve better wages. They deserve higher wages due to the rise of inflation. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to say, oh, well, inflation has gone down, which it has. However, they still deserve to be compensated for the rise of inflation that we've seen. And even though inflation has gone down, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. I'm pretty sure inflation is still up higher than it was back in, like, let's say 2019. So I think they definitely deserve it. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, well, a lot of these actors are paid millions and millions of dollars, but that's actually not true. There's a lot of actors that are still barely getting by, trying to make it, trying to get their big breaking moment. The top of the top, the big A-list celebrities, yes, they're making millions of dollars. But most of these people in Hollywood, most of these actors are not making millions of dollars. And so, yes, they do deserve higher wages, in my opinion. It says right here that the union also highlighted concerns about the growing use of self-tape auditions that are time-consuming and costly for actors. The studios and streamers have implemented massive unilateral changes in our industry's business model, while at the same time insisting on keeping our contracts frozen in amber. National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator Duncan Crabtree said in a statement, the studios and streamers have underestimated our members' resolve as they are about to fully discover. Very interesting. So those are basically the issues that are going on. The last time that the actors went on strike over their TV and film contract was in 1980. The last time that both writers and actors went on strike was back in 1960, before my parents were born. And yeah, absolutely insane situation. So get ready, folks. The next year or so is about to get very boring. We ain't going to have a whole lot of good shows, not a whole lot of good things to watch on Netflix, not much to watch on Disney Plus, not a whole lot of good movies in the theaters. And yeah, I guess the thing that we'll all have to be watching is sports. The one thing that never fails us. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.